It is the homemade broadcast. It is episode 555. My name is Will Kuncz. This here is Anna Hummel.
Hi.
Good to talk to you again twice in 2 days.
I
Very
know.
exciting.
Today I feel much better.
That's good.
Sorry if I was a little off yesterday. I was feeling the hormones inside of me raging for no reason at all.
I thought yesterday you just seemed, I don't know. I was like, maybe this video is not any good. Maybe it's just not they're all not going to be hit it out of the park home runs.
What was it that I was like just more quiet?
I don't know. I thought, well, maybe it's, usually you're sitting in here, maybe it's a distance type of thing.
Yeah.
I know you like to be here, but when we do these extra ones, kind of they're spur of the moment, so they're not planned. It's a little harder to do that. So we usually just hop on remotely, which I think is good. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking, I didn't know if something was wrong or what.
Was I just quiet, or I just seemed like I was in a bad mood? I'm just trying to
just a little off, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was hot. I was uncomfortable. And when I walked into the room, I wasn't. And then I wanted to turn on the fan, but I didn't want it to make noise.
Right.
The hormones were raging, and was just like in a really bad mood. And then I started watching videos of corgi puppies, and I just started crying.
What?
So
is it the monthly cycle?
It's the prelude to the monthly cycle. Yeah. Okay. And it's just, you become a slave to these hormones.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing, like, obviously men have hormones too.
Absolutely.
But you're just a bit more stable most of the time. Whereas us, I just feel like I'm constantly on this roller coaster of, I want to kill you. I love you. I hate me. I kind of don't mind me. Like, it's just all the time. And then on top of that, women tend to be more neurotic than men. So you just add that into the mix.
Not good.
As just a characteristic. So, sorry, I was a little off.
No, that's fine.
It's a lot. Fine. Pop quiz time.
All right. Bing, bing, bing.
New game we have on the show. Right. One and only time we're going to play it.
Nope, that's not the one.
I will eat your ass. I will eat your ass.
Hold on.
You come out with...
Nope.
Get a life, Jews.
All right. Good enough.
Kind of applicable to some of the stories we'll talk about. Without looking anything up and no help from chat.
Okay. I'm going to cover up the chat here. By the way, super chats are open. If you're watching us live on YouTube on Wednesday at 6 p.m., you can super chat. Those are guaranteed to be read. And it's a good way to support the program. Anyway, okay, I'm not looking at the chat.
No chat, no phone, no nothing.
Okay.
What is the Ides of March?
Oh, man.
Because what the F? Because nobody knows this. Apparently, I thought it was basic elementary school type stuff.
It is. You learned about it and all through school, but it's also one of those things that unfortunately just leaves your brain for some reason. Not you.
Not me.
Hold on. Don't tell me.
I was just gonna explain what happened. I was at jiu-jitsu today, and one of the owners was telling me about some event that's going to be on March, and she said 15th. So me being the autistic person that I am, I spin around and I go, Ides of March. Yeah. And she's like, what? And then I looked at the boys in the class and I'm like, the Ides of March, right? And one of them said, is that a nautical thing? And nobody knew what I was talking about. And I was just dumbfounded because I said, it's less likely that I'm a genius that can remember these things and more likely that it's just not common knowledge. But I thought it was. That's the point.
I see. So I know I've heard the Ides of March before. And I know that at one point or another, I've come across it and learned what it was. I'm going to guess does it have anything to do with...
Don't look at chat.
I'm not. I'm looking straight out the window here. Okay. The plague? The bubonic plague?
No, not even close.
Okay, I had no idea then.
It's the assassination of Julius Caesar.
Oh, yes.
He gets stabbed by this conspiracy of members of the Senate, one of which was his lover's son, Brutus. And he goes, et tu, Brute, meaning like, and you, Brutus?
Yep.
So he gets stabbed by Brutus. And whenever we talk about someone like stabbing you in the back, like metaphorically, you go, oh, a Brutus. You've heard that before.
Sure, of course.
So that's where it comes from. And it happened on the Ides of March 44 BCE.
So did it happen on the Ides of March, or did the event become known as the Ides of March?
I mean, it's known as the assassination of Julius Caesar on the Ides of March.
Well, what is the Ides of March then?
That was March 15th. The Ides.
It's called that
15.
because of the assassination.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Yeah. So whenever someone talks about like March 15th, I was like, oh, the Ides of March.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knew what I was talking about. And I don't know, maybe I also just love Roman history. I love Roman history.
Yeah. Did you watch Gladiator 2?
No.
I didn't either.
No, I didn't watch Gladiator 1. Not
all
of it.
That's one of my favorite
really
movies. It's
violent. I don't really love the violence so much.
Okay.
But I will say that Julius Caesar is my second favorite dictator.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to guess my first favorite dictator? It's not Hitler, by the way.
Good.
Not Hitler, for the record.
Good. I'm gonna guess Napoleon.
Yes.
Yeah. We talked about Napoleon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did. I remember talking about that. Yeah, Napoleon's number 1, but Julius Caesar is certainly number 2. Just a stellar person in history that just did incredible things. And like, you think about like the Tsar and Tsarina of Russia, that comes from Caesar. Tsar, Caesar.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Russian word.
Yeah, it just had so much influence on Western civilization. So
yeah, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting. Thanks for the historical knowledge.
Sure, of course.
I always appreciate that. I'm a fan myself. I don't understand what's going on with this 56K connection where it's just stuttering like this. Like it's 2000. This is what webcams look like back in like 2003. You just move back and forth. It's so distracting. I hate it.
Do you want to just show people how you live?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, it usually goes away and gets back to normal here in a second. I have noticed, but yeah, this is the Radio St. Pete portion, the free podcast portion. After half an hour, we'll go behind the, I don't know what you call it, not even a paywall really, but just the extra time, uncensored time that we do on YouTube and Rumble and Substack, hmbradio.substack.com. Obviously, super chats are a good way to contribute. You can also Venmo. Just my name, Will Kuncz, on Venmo. I split those with Anna. If you just want to make a donation, or you can sign up for the Substack. I would encourage you to please go over and sign up for the Substack anyway, just because there is a free one and you get the podcast early, the audio only podcast early. I hate it. This is not looking good.
I just want my face roasted like that for a hot second.
hmbradio.substack.com. We'll take some calls later. I'm sure Joe is going to call in. That's fine. We'll talk to Joe for a few minutes. Anybody else that wants to call in, the number is scrolling on the screen, 813-693. There it is, 2124. We'll do that in the uncensored portion. So that'd be good. So call in, talk to us. It'll be fun. I'd like to hear from you guys.
Make sure you thought it was the Ides of March.
Oh, no. The Ides, not the Ides. Yeah. No, the Ides. I don't even know what Ides are.
I guess it just means 15th.
Okay.
In like Latin, maybe, I'm guessing.
Huh.
I'm guessing.
I don't know again. Should I look it up?
Sure. That's what the computer's for.
Ides of March. Is the day on the Roman calendar marked as the Ida? I guess it is Ida, roughly the midpoint of the month. Yeah. So there you go. Okay, great. Well, okay, let's just start the program here. We got through that. We talked about Super Bowl yesterday. We did a bonus pod yesterday, but there's so much Super Bowl stuff that was relevant this week.
Yeah.
So I have some more. I saw this one on this is Megyn Kelly. And I guess Megyn Kelly was at the game and she had a run-in with a very famous person called Taylor Swift.
And I believe she's talked mad smack about this person.
She has.
Yes, which God bless her. And why is Megyn Kelly getting hotter with age?
She does look pretty good.
She looks so good.
She looks great.
Oh, gorgeous.
So I want to play this story from her and her interaction, which I think we can all relate to.
Yeah.
And this is going to lead into the next. It's perfect.
So I, of course, just assume there's a line. And I'm like, oh, are you in line? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go to get past her. And she's like, oh, no, I think someone's in there. I'm like, one person? Like, I'm like, oh, she's like, there was something unclear about what she said. So I tried to go past her, and then I pressed down the doorknob and it started to open. And I heard like, oh, and then she was like, oh, no. And then I realized Taylor Swift was clearly in there, and this was like a privacy guard for her. So I think I almost walked in on Taylor Swift in the bathroom, and I'm really glad that did not happen. Really, really glad.
I don't know. That would have been great.
That would have been hilarious.
A great story. It would have been definitely very awkward if you ever ran into her again. You ever walked in on somebody in the bathroom?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. This is maybe one of my first memories of life.
Oh,
ready? You ready for this? This is how traumatic it was.
Really ingrained, yeah.
All right. So growing up, I used to go to this. So this is really, I don't think you guys did this here in Florida, but for a hot second, where I lived in San Diego, where I grew up, you know how most of the time kids go to school throughout the year and then they have the summer off. So from K to 8th grade, we had the quote unquote track system. Parents hated it. You were either on blue track, green track, or orange track. Okay. And it was 2 months on, 1 month off the whole year. 2 months on, 1 month off. 2 months on, 1 month off.
Okay.
And so they would stagger. So there were always kids at school, even throughout the summer, because it was like, oh, blue track has their month off this month or whatever.
Interesting.
So in order to deal with all these kids who didn't have like anything to do for a month, they would have these like sports camps and drama camps and stuff like that at this place called Brangle Terrace in North County, San Diego. So my good friend Deba, who you've met,
the Deepster, and I, her parents forced her to go to sports camp, which is hilarious because Deba is not athletic at all. But whatever, we didn't have anything to do. Her parents had to go to work. So they're like, guess what, B, you're going to sports camp. So we're just kind of like putzing around, and we were also like lazy. So we're just trying to figure out how to get out of stuff. Anyways, I remember we were eating chicken nuggets. And this was so far long ago that I was actually eating meat at this time in my life. So I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. And I remember eating chicken nuggets, and I go, Deba, again, we're 7 or 8. I have to go to the bathroom. Would you like to accompany me to the bathroom? She's like, yeah, let's go to the bathroom. I'm like, so interesting that girls do that even at a young age. I mean,
we also
continues
didn't
your life.
Have any other friends. So it would have been just her standing there alone, or me standing there alone, which is uncomfortable as an adult, let alone as a child, just standing there. And there's no phone or anything. So you're just like standing there. And so we go to the bathroom, and I remember it was a little stall, big stall, right?
Okay. And this is gender specific.
In the women's bathroom.
Okay.
So the first stall is occupied, and it's a woman, and she's talking to somebody, and that person is not responding. They were like, she said something to the effect of like, how's it going? Are you almost done? And this is before the era of like where people had cell phones.
Right.
And no one was responding to her. So in our 7-year-old brains, we're like, this woman is insane. She's crazy. Let's not go to the stall right next to her. Let's go to the big stall. Right.
Right.
And it's an adult. Wide open.
You can tell it's an adult.
Yeah, the first stall is occupied by an adult woman.
Okay. The
second stall is unoccupied, and I was like, well, don't want to go in there. And I think at this time, Deba and I were like going into stalls. I don't know. Anyways.
And using the toilet?
Maybe.
Like peeing and pooping? Poop?
Not pooping.
Okay.
I wouldn't poop in front of her.
Okay.
But again, Deba and I have known each other almost since birth. So first stall is occupied. Second stall is open. I remember thinking to myself, and I was in front of her. I remember thinking to myself, like, let's not be right next to the woman who's talking to herself. Let me go into the big bathroom. Door is ajar. Push the door open. Adult, retarded man on the toilet.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Penis out.
In the women's bathroom. Just like full blown. But he had not responded to this woman. Had he made some noise, obviously I wouldn't have gone in there. Yeah. The door was also ajar. It wasn't wide open. It wasn't shut. And Deba and I, not a word. A word was not spoken. It was like, we walk in, imagine this is what it sounded like. Do. Scurried out and ran away. Yeah.
Ran so fast. And we're just like, so that was one of my first memories of life.
Was it, that's the first ding dong you ever saw in your life?
That I remember. Yeah. But it was crazy.
How was it?
I mean, I didn't really stay and take a good look at it. There was just a lot to process.
Sure.
About what I just saw, what happened. Like it was a shock to the system. And then going back into the bathroom obviously was very scary for the rest of the day. Just,
that's a tough situation. I was thinking, like, what is that mom thinking? But what if
it was a caretaker? I don't know who it was, but yeah.
What can she do?
She probably should have gone in there with him, and
she had to go too, I guess, right?
Well, you let him go, and then you like strap him to a wheelchair or something, and then you go.
Yeah.
You can't just let that guy. Again, I think he was fine. I don't remember seeing a wheelchair, so I think he was like ambulatory. He could walk.
Mm-hmm.
But it was full on, you know what I mean?
Mental or physical disability?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. It was like full on, like, look at the hands like that.
Okay. Yeah. The flamidibide ones. I don't know what you call. I can't
dolphin
remember.
Fins. I don't know what it is.
Flamida.
I have no idea. But yeah, it was full on this, and the legs were kind of like meh, meh, and full on. And when I walked in, of course, there was a like, and Deeb and I just, jet out of there. Done.
Oh man.
So we were like, I remember getting out of that situation, and we were like laughing and scared at the same time. Like it was like such a thrill. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So that's probably my most memorable bathroom experience.
Did the lady? I mean, you would think that the lady, the mom, or the caretaker would have said, "Hello, whoever is in here. There's somebody in that big stall. So don't." Which is the handicapped stall, right? I mean, technically. And you didn't want to use the handicap stall, but you didn't want to be next to the crazy lady, so you go, I'll just use the handicap stall.
Well, there was only 3 stalls.
Right. But one was designated probably for special needs.
Yeah, or it was just like what we called the big bathroom. But yeah, technically the handicap. But you would think, I think she thought that he had like shut the door and locked it, but he hadn't.
Well, she probably had to keep it open.
Maybe that
because they can't. He probably can't lock it.
Maybe not.
He's not able to.
But then, like, why wasn't she like in there helping and watching him?
That would be the answer.
So
to have to, even if he doesn't want to be watched or something, which is totally understandable, you just kind of turn your back.
Sure.
And wait.
I mean, I don't think he had, a lot of wants and desires, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that.
Wow.
I remember it so vividly. It's crazy.
I was trying to think if I've ever walked in on anybody in the bathroom. It's just been me who's been walked in on.
Yeah.
Like those types of stories. One time, I think I told this before, but it's a greatest hits. First Friday. Yeah. Downtown St. Pete, boy. Young Bill. About, I would say 22, 23 years old. Going to First Friday in downtown St. Pete. And if you've ever been to First Friday, you know that it's very well attended, especially at that time. They kind of closed down the main drag there. They have like concerts out. You can just walk around with beers. It was a fun time. And all of a sudden I'm out with some friends and I got hit with, I'm going to get poop sick. I gotta make. And my options were I lived in the old Northeast. So I'm like, I could walk home. It's about a mile walk, which is ideally what I would do, because I don't like to use public bathrooms for twos. On occasion, you have to. It's usually in a complete emergency, which this one was. And it's bad enough if you just have to be out and about to do that. But this was a very bad emergency where I'm like, I'm gonna soil myself unless I get into this bathroom. So I went, there was this place, The Garden, which was a very cool place, but they had one bathroom, one urinal, one stall. That's it. That's all they had. So I had to wait, and I'm sitting there thinking about what my strategy is going to be here, because I mean, it's very crowded. It's very open. I'm going to wait for the stall. Like, is there toilet paper in there? I don't even know if there's toilet paper in there. I'm going to have to risk it and see what happens. So the urinal becomes available. I go, I got to use the stall. Go ahead. So I sent the guy in front of me. Stall finally becomes available. And I go and sit down and just can't stop. It's just nonstop. I feel like, okay, I got to get up now. I got to get up and get out of here. Nope, I can't.
And it's not a private room. It's just a stall.
No, it's totally open. And the stall, like you can see, it's an open at the top, like stalls are. And as drunk young men are wont to do, they're getting a little impatient because they have to pee. And one of these toilets is occupied. So all of a sudden you start getting the pounds on the door like, yo, hey, what are you doing in there? Come on, man. And I'm just like, I'll be right out. And then all of a sudden
Why did you say I'm sick?
Well, the head started to peek over. Ew, oh my God. And I'm just like, I'm sick. It was such a vulnerable feeling. I'm just sitting on the toilet. Don't, I'm sick. Don't. And that was a very, very traumatic time. I can't remember what happened. I think I just did a once over with the TP and just went home, walked home, took a shower, and stayed in the rest of the night.
Yeah, I bet.
Wasn't gonna risk. You know what? No, I actually might have went back out. I think I might have just taken a shower, put on a new pair of jeans and underwear, probably kept the same shirt on, and just went back out because you didn't want to waste valuable going out time.
No, I certainly know what you're talking about.
It's definitely a risk. Definitely a risk.
That's funny, man.
There was another one, the Pelican Pub, I think it was called. I don't know if it's
there
still
was the MRSA outbreak or whatever.
The body lice.
Yes,
outbreak.
that's what it was. That was the biggest story I thought, but right before COVID hit.
Yeah, they had to tear up all the furniture in there from body lice people kept getting, or scabies.
Yes,
I think they're the same thing.
Yeah,
that was not good. But I walked in there, my buddy went in there, and then he came back in and was like, oh, and I was like, oh no, what does that mean? So these were just two toilets, gender neutral toilets. So I went in there and there was just a pile of stuff in the toilet. And I tried to flush it. Of course, it doesn't go down. So I'm just like, oh no, well, what do I do now? I don't want people to think that I did this.
Yeah.
So I'm just like praying that I just peed on it. And then I started to leave, and I opened the door, and there's a beautiful young woman. That's right. And I just went, I wasn't me. And then she's just like, what? And I kept walking, and then I found my friend. I go, let's just go. Let's go to another bar. Let's hop a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible.
I saw some interesting bathroom situations. Thanks to you, I've been emceeing the St. Pete Descents Classic. Yeah. Which was super fun and a lot smoother this year than last year. But of course, the bathroom situation is porta potties. Right? Yeah. And I have a very rational fear of porta potties because I don't understand the physics of what happens. I'm like, you certainly don't do that in your own home. So why is it happening here? And most of them were okay. Most of them were fine, except one had just like literal like doo-doo, almost said it, just smeared like a finger paint, like all over the seat.
Oh, you know what happened?
How did it happen?
Okay, so here's my theory.
They tried to wipe it up?
No, I think probably what happened. Yeah, they might have done that after, but probably they tried to hover and poo, and then it was either a little, messier than they thought, or their aim wasn't that good, and it went, and then they might have like, whoa, and then fell back and sat in it, and then it just got up and was kind of smeared on the seat. It's not a good.
It's so much more reasonable that I just think of some little demon that's like.
It could be that too. I mean,
you're probably right though.
The most logical thing is probably it was an accident and they didn't want to sit on the seat because that's a porta potty.
Yeah.
And then they just make more of a mess. Like women are notorious for that, just making a mess, like trying to hover and then just coating the. Like if you just sat your butt down, then you would just go into the hole. But trying to be, I get it.
I don't hover. I feel like my legs aren't strong enough. They will give out.
Yeah.
And I can't be that tense with my legs and relax enough to pee. So what I do is obviously just take the toilet paper and line the toilet seat and then sit down comfortably.
That's yeah. If you have time, I mean, sometimes like Pelican Pub time was not. I didn't have any time
I still do it
to lay down a barrier. But yeah, if I have to go, generally, yeah, that's what I do too. Okay, I'm sorry, Radio St. Pete. I don't want to talk about excrement the entire time, but I saw it just goes along too well. I saw one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life in St. Petersburg last Super Bowl Sunday. My partner, Julia, says, we're on the way to the Super Bowl party. She goes, I'm a little sleepy. I need to pick me up. So I go, okay. You want to go to a Starbucks or something? She goes, yeah. So I go, okay, cool. Let's pull in here. Here's one right here. So it's one near Tyrone Mall. I don't know if you're familiar, like across the street.
Yeah.
And then
like
there's
Portillo's kind of.
Yeah, but it's like more across the street from the mall. There's like a Home Depot and a Burlington Coat Factory, like in that shopping center across the street. And the Starbucks is kind of towards 22nd, but like in all the way in the back from like the Home Depot parking lot. It's like as far as away as you can be from those major stores, but you're also at a busy location because Starbucks is right there. So you're kind of in front of Starbucks, but all the way in the back from the busy stores.
Gotcha.
So there's a man, and you could tell he's standing guard, an old guy, standing guard facing Home Depot, like making sure nobody comes up. There's a guy, door open, passenger side door open, fully nude, completely nude.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
There's a guy standing in front of Starbucks.
There's a guy. They're at a car. Okay. So they put, like I said, they parked as far away as they could from the Home Depot and the Burlington Coat Factory, but unfortunately, that means you're really close to the Starbucks drive-through.
Got it. They're not in the drive-through.
They're not in the drive-through. They're in the parking lot next to the drive-through. That's not really Starbucks property. It's really far from the stores, but unfortunately, due to location, it's really close to the drive-through. Okay. So there's an old man standing guard to make sure nobody is coming from this way. Meanwhile, the Starbucks drive-through has a perfect view of what's happening here. Man completely nude, wiping his butt cheeks with his khakis. Oh, I felt so disturbed because it was like an old guy, like an old man. You could tell, and like I don't know what was going on, what happened. He probably just had a Pelican Pub moment and couldn't make it.
Okay, the person wiping their butt was in the car, out of the car,
standing, door open, so like a barrier a little bit.
Okay,
like a so you can't really see the full thing. But if you just go up a little bit, you can see the whole kit and caboodle there, which I ended up not looking at.
Yeah, because you said a guy is standing guard, meaning like in front of him.
In front of him, but facing the major stores, not like with his back to the Starbucks drive-through.
Got you.
So the Starbucks drive-through has a really good view of what's happening here, of this man cleaning off his butt cheeks with his khakis. And I'm thinking, like, that's awful. I'm so sorry that this happened to you, sir. But also, like, what are you thinking now? I mean, you have one pair of pants, khakis, and you're wiping your butt cheeks with the part of the pants that almost is at your feet, like the long side of the pants. So you can't reuse those. So what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna sit in the nude? Are you gonna leave it? Are they a total loss, the khakis? Or usually you just throw away the undies, and then keep the pants. And even if you got a little mess in there, you just get by.
Yeah.
You find a ad or something, you sit on that.
Yeah.
But he was going to be, I guess, completely nude in the car.
Yeah.
On the way back. That's intense.
Did you see remnants?
No, not really. I just saw him wiping his butt cheeks and the opening with the pants.
The opening?
His butt. Opening of his butt.
Oh God! Were there other people in the drive-through, or was it just you?
It was just Julia and I.
So it wasn't like there's a whole line of people honking.
Julia I wasn't gonna say anything. Julia goes, like the poor lady that's working the Starbucks drive-through. Julia goes, there's a naked man standing in the parking lot. And she was like, oh, like she got alarmed. Like, is this some sort of sexual thing? I go, no, I think it's a bathroom accident. I think he had an issue. He had a Pelican Pub moment, if you know what I mean. And she was like, no, I don't. I go, it's fine. It's nothing devious going on. It's just a very unfortunate circumstance. And she was like, okay, well, I didn't really need to know that. And I go, I know. I just didn't want you calling the cops on the guy, you know, because I don't think it was anything.
Arrested with
I don't think it was anything
brown in his pants.
Yeah, I didn't think it was anything, nefarious necessarily. But we did get a super chat from Garrett. We're about to go live behind the paywall here. Actually, I'm going to read this in a second, Garrett. We're going to say goodbye to Radio St. Pete and the free podcast listeners. Good ep. It's a good doo-doo type of material. Sorry, Radio St. Pete. I know this is a classy joint in here, but this is how we do things. So join us Wednesdays live. You can make comments and it's fun in the super chats or 813-693-2124 and the homemade broadcast at gmail.com for any complaints. Don't email Joe Bordeaux your complaints. Email me, the homemade broadcast at gmail.com. Thank you, Radio St. Pete. Goodbye. All right.
Well, I have a confession now that we're off Radio St. Pete because I blew it up in the bathroom last night.
You did? Yeah. You had to make a 2?
Yeah.
Did you make a mess?
No.
Did you mess your pants?
No.
Okay.
But it was a close call because I was like producing this podcast, right? And the AC broke. So I had coffee and like ate a bunch of food during my 5-minute little hiatus. And we had this guy in who was like 106. And he was just not finishing up the story. And I was getting very flustered. And it's hot. And I'm hot. And now I'm sweating because I'm about to shit myself. But thankfully he finished up and I scurried to the bathroom and did what I had to do.
That's good.
Yeah. But it was a close call for sure. So
yeah. It is. It's not a fun feeling having to go on. I had to take off the virtual background. It was driving me insane. Yeah. I got to figure out what's going on with that. But sorry, we get to look at the vacuum today. I apologize for that. Publix. Yeah. Garrett had a good comment here. How far away from you from Publix? Always clean. Great bathrooms. I do go out of my way if it is something where I feel like I can't get there to try to get to a Publix.
Yes. The only problem is sometimes they're cleaning when you have the emergency, and then you're like, no. But then you got to find the family bathroom, and you should be all right.
That is very true because it's always pretty clean in there. Great. Unfortunately, the downside is that they're cleaning a lot. Constantly. I've had to just make number ones, and I'm like, I gotta wait. I gotta make a pee here. I gotta figure something else out. I had a few Valentine's Day ago. I kind of had the same thing.
Oh, I remember.
Got hit, and I was like, I'm gonna stop at Barnes and Noble. Why? We're going to play mini golf. And I was like, I just get a book. And I just like peeled off in there, and there was a guy doing the same thing, making a 2 in the Barnes and Noble.
Like you.
Well, what I was planning on doing, but there was only one stall. So I wasn't gonna wait and go, like, definitely not waiting for the aftermath and having to sit in his stink. No.
So you just held it?
That. So I held it
for like hours?
No, we kept going, and I was like in the middle lane, and I saw a Publix, and I went, I stop at Publix, and I just didn't even look.
Yeah.
And, and I made it to a Publix, so it was great. Yeah, Publix is the best. If you have to, Wawas are great. I'll tell you the best public bathrooms though, Buc-ee's.
Yeah, Buc-ee's. But I mean, how many Buc-ee's are there?
Not many, but there is one coming to Ocala,
yes.
I think.
Yes.
But yeah, those are legit. And actually, truck stops really aren't that bad. They're pretty clean.
Mm-mm. And you know what I've been noticing? I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called, Charles Reams. There's a lot of parks, at least in my area, Dunedin, Clearwater, and the public bathrooms are phenomenal.
Really?
Yes. Phenomenal for that, because usually you walk in and you're going to think you're going to see that, the metal toilet with like no seat. It's just
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. And it's not like that. It is very nice. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yes. But my standards are low.
Yeah, true that. If you want to call 813-693-2124 if you have any good poop stories, those are always fun. Might as well keep the poop train going here. I don't know. All this from a Megan Kelly walking in on Taylor. Was Taylor Swift making a 1 or a 2?
Probably a 1.
You think
She
so?
doesn't make 2s. She does not make 2s.
What if she drops a big old stinky 2s?
And then Megan Kelly lived to tell about it.
Like big, long, just like perfect tubes of poo.
Ropes.
Yeah. They're like braided. That's what I'm talking
like
about.
A swallow?
Yeah.
That's nasty.
In the meantime, we can move on. We don't want to hold anybody up here. Super Bowl did happen. I saw this and I thought maybe you might have a little bit different of opinion here, but I saw this guy, the Chief star. Let's see, there it is. Can you say that name?
Yeah, Chiefs Charles Omenihu. Is he from Nigeria or something?
Maybe. He breaks down in tears on the sideline.
Like a tear or sobs?
It was pretty sobby.
Oh.
He was like, this guy looks embarrassed.
He's like,
Come on,
man.
Hey, what are you doing, bro?
Come on, man.
Like that. He is,
really
this guy's
upsetting.
like, what are you doing? This guy here, 56. Stop doing that.
Wait, oh, here we go.
Let's
for the Chiefs. There's a lot of consoling going on the sideline. That three-peat in deep trouble.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how do you feel about men crying?
I will say that I heard Chris Williamson. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
He put it perfectly. A guy like that who is, do you know who he is? This Charles, what are his stats? Probably like 6'5", 250.
Yeah.
Great shape. Could probably kill anyone, any motherfucker.
Uh-huh.
That guy can cry, no problem.
This guy can.
Yeah. That guy can cry, no problem. Not all the time, but every once in a while, he's really passionate about the game. It's his whole life. Fine. If you see a little twerpy beta bitch loser crying, not acceptable. That guy's a bitch.
Interesting.
So guys who are very masculine, who have all the masculine points, if they break down and get vulnerable sometimes and shed a few tears, I don't think that that's going to turn anybody away. It's when the beta bitches start crying that you go, shut up.
Why is that?
Because masculinity is something that's hard to acquire and easy to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy has all the big man points. Look at him. He's this giant black guy, probably got a 9-inch cock. You know what I mean? He can cry. But some little twerpy loser crying, you're going to go, ew, just really off-putting.
I see what you're saying there. That makes total sense. I feel like maybe if his grandma died, this is an appropriate reaction.
Yeah.
But you failed. You went after a task and you failed. And I know you really wanted something, but this is kind of what competing in sports is about, is not only learning how to win, but learning how to lose. And kind of being, obviously you want to be like, you beat me today. I don't even think you necessarily have to be happy for your opponent.
Yeah.
But you have to take something from that, learn something, digest it, figure out what to do next time so it doesn't happen again. But just crying is bizarre to me. See, you're doing what I was doing yesterday. There's drones out there.
I thought I heard like, real.
It's just an airplane.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We don't know what this guy's going through. Yes, obviously he's losing a football game, but maybe he told his grandma, I'm gonna win this for you before you die. She's like, please don't let me down.
If you do, I'm gonna kill myself.
Right. Something like that. You don't know. Maybe his parents moved here from Nigeria so he could play, and he's supporting the family, and they're so excited. You just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So I'm gonna give this guy a pass for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it's bad sportsmanship.
If Mike Tyson cries, you're gonna be like, that guy's a bitch.
It's not a bitch. It's just, to me, it's more the sportsmanship angle than being like a pussy. Like you lost a game. I know it's the big game. Somebody was going to lose. You had a kind of a 50-50 shot here of losing the game, and you were just on the tail side of that, on the bad side of that odds.
He's not like talking smack or not congratulating the other team or anything. He's just having a
Yeah, but what are you crying?
moment.
Stop crying. Stop crying and just congratulate your opponent. And if you need to cry, maybe do it in private. Don't do it on the side. I just feel like it sets a bad.
I don't know, dude.
That's a bad example, I think, of what sports is. You have to learn how to win and lose.
Maybe he's just a really emotional guy. I don't know. But what about this? The Paul Sirianni, what's the head coach of the
Sirianni? Yeah.
Doesn't he cry all the time? He was talking at the post game interview that he's like, yeah, I'm a really emotional guy. Because the interviewer said something to the effect of like, I hear you're a really emotional guy that you cry all the time. He's like, yeah, I'm constantly crying. And then his kids came to join him on the field and he started crying again. Is that okay? Because he's crying tears of joy. Is that allowed, Will?
That's a good question because I feel like if you win and you're like teary-eyed because you accomplished a goal, it's different than crying because you lost.
So like tears of joy are a green light.
Yeah.
Tears of sadness, red flag.
I'm not going to say green light, but I will say it feels better to me.
Okay.
Like you work hard, you achieve something, that's full of emotion. These guys have been playing ball.
So it's losing where you try really hard and you lose.
I know. But you just, I don't know, crying over failure I just feel like is a bad precedent. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong about this. 813-693-2124. Mike from St. Pete says no crying at baseball. Right.
Well, it's football, so.
Yeah, it's football. Yeah. Joe, go ahead and call back. I feel bad. Yeah. Joe's the only one that's calling. That's
were you hanging up on him?
I saw it, but wanted to give somebody else a chance if somebody wanted to, but apparently they don't. 813-693-2124 is that we're taking your calls live now. We actually have the capability to do that. That's very exciting. Should there be crying in sports if you lose? What about if you win? I want to know. 813-693-2124. Don't tweet me anymore because I lost my job so I don't have a Twitter account anymore. All right, let's get Joe in here.
To
Hi, Joe.
Press 1 to send a voicemail.
Hi, Joe.
Hey.
What's up?
I love crying. It's so good. I cry all the time.
Why?
I cry, number one, every Sunday when I'm worshiping the Lord. There's such a feeling that comes over me and it washes me from my head to my toes.
I'm glad you got washed somehow.
Oh, I washed the hell out of myself tonight, Miss Hummel. I got a hot water basin, put the best soap in there, had plenty of washcloths, and I washed my own self from head to toe, scrubbed more than anybody would ever scrub. That's why I know I'm cleaner.
Do you once a day?
Yeah, I actually went twice today. It's funny you mention it.
Me too.
Yeah, I only go once a day at the same time, but today I had an emergency diarrhea around 1 o'clock.
Oh my God, your nurses were probably.
You
so
get to a Publix.
I never have diarrhea. That's the thing. So this is the first time they've ever seen me have diarrhea. It's just I've been here a year and it just doesn't happen. So, but when I told her, she told the whole hall, "Oh, diarrhea!" I'm like, "Come on, like whatever. I don't really care what anybody thinks."
That's code brown, by the way.
But I heard about this the whole time y'all talking about poop, and I got this one story that just won't leave me alone.
All right, 3 minutes or less. Go for it.
I was at this awesome German restaurant, and I had a phenomenal meal. Everything from top to bottom, dessert and everything. I had to do caca. So I went to the bathroom. Now I'm in the bathroom and I'm doing caca and everything's going great. Next thing I know, the door is being beaten down and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on right now?
It's the Puerto Rican hooker.
No. She was waiting for me to finish eating. So she's not a hooker though, but regardless. So I'm done. I come out. Now there's, one of the larks that the old people drive? There's a lark that's blocking me from opening the door. So I had to actually push this guy's lark up. It was an old man, a giant old man that was trying to get into the bathroom because he was about to shit himself. And what he ended up doing was going into the women's room and shitting up the walls, the floors, himself. Everything was covered. I
So you
looked
could be
down.
worse.
I could not believe what I saw, and it smelled so bad.
I bet.
I ran right to the front, and I said, "I want y'all guys to know. Number one, it's not me. Number two, you got something real bad that you're about to walk into. So just be really, really careful." And then the guy comes stumbling behind me, walks out. He I don't even know how this happens, but he leaves and he's going to get on a bus. There's a bus stop right across the street. Now this man has shit all over himself and his pants, and he stinks, and he doesn't even care. He's going to get on a bus and sit first he's going to sit on the seat at the bus stop. Then he's going to go and sit on a bus where everybody's going to go sit after him. I mean, my life was ruined after that. My mental mind and shit.
Sounds like it got worse.
I never went back to that restaurant ever again.
Do you think that's what set you off on the path that found you in a nursing home at age 45? You think that was like the catalyst?
No, because it ruined a lot of things. Like, would I want to go and sit at a bus stop again now? Especially that's the bus stop.
You took a lot of things for granted before then, and now you're just like, nah, I'm good.
Well, but right before I couldn't walk anymore, I was using the bus. That was my only method, and it was very nice. I could walk right on. I could sit on the handicap seat, and people would bump into my bad foot all the time, but that's not cool. What I want to talk about that's cool is we were talking about full nude, right? I've been caught full nude a couple times when I was really young. And then even when I was older, I got caught full nude.
What does that mean? Like someone walked in on you, or were you naked in a place that you weren't supposed to be naked?
Yeah. Like, for example, when I was 17 and I got my license and I was driving my car for the first time, I'm like, I just want to drive my car full nude. So I driving nude.
Why?
Why?
What was going through your head?
I'm weird.
Okay.
So I'm driving full nude and I go by the Friendlies and I see a bunch of my friends in the parking lot on their bicycles. And I go and I pull around so I can put my clothes on. Somebody rides their bike over to my car like, Joe, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, just driving around nude. I got caught driving around full nude. But
wait,
that's not taking...
your penis must be a good size, because I would not want to be driving around nude, you know?
Well, this is the craziest one of all time.
He asked you how big your dick was, so I would answer.
Oh, I mean, like...
He probably hasn't seen it in a few years.
Oh, I can see it. I could look at it right now if I wanted to.
Okay.
I could take a picture
of it doesn't count. Nope, that doesn't count.
Oh, live video chat?
No, motherfucker, with your own eyeballs. Can you lay eyes on your dick and see it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you're like, okay, I'm good enough to where I can be nude.
I'm laying nice to where I could bag every hot chick that I want in my entire life. And not one of them ever complained about my penis size. Not one.
Well, obviously, because they were having sex with you.
I mean, ladies haven't complained about mine, but I'm also like not trying to be nude in front of anybody.
Hey, let me close by telling you this last story about being caught fully nude. So I was driving a 2017 Escalade, and I had already bumped the front end of it into the McDonald's brick wall. So I kind of like, I feel like I did something, like I jostled something loose, because I was just driving down the street after that and the airbag just blew up right in my face.
Yeah.
And all that, there's white powder that comes out of it and I had it all over me. I felt like I was on fire. So I started just ripping my clothes off because I thought my clothes were on fire. So I ripped off, I had a button down shirt and tie, got that off, my pants, I got that off. I'm full nude. And then all the policemen and firemen, they come and they rip open the door to the Escalade, and there I am, full naked. Just they're pulling me out of the car naked, and I went to the hospital. They checked me out, and they released me at 4:00 in the afternoon.
They should not have released you.
So you thought you were on fire, so you got nude.
Yeah.
Were you on any substances at this point?
Just there was some dust I probably inhaled from the
Puerto
airbag.
Rican hooker. Oh.
This one wasn't a hook. It was a guy in the passenger seat. He's the one that told me that the airbag exploded out of nowhere, because I would have even known. Oh, and then the Escalade went right into an oil tanker and an oil truck that delivers oil, and it totaled a $70,000 Escalade.
Shit, that
Dang,
sucks, dude.
dude.
Yep.
All right, Joe. Well, thank you for sharing those lovely tales of adventure with us.
Joe's Corner. That's what we're gonna call this segment.
Oh, I like that.
That's what goes through my head with the poop stories and the fully nude, and that's now I cleared out my head. Now I can move on, and I can't wait to hear what y'all say next. So
thanks, Joe.
Thank you for the time.
Yep.
God bless.
Bye. God bless.
813-693-2124. If you'd like to join us, we're going to be here for a few more minutes, or you don't have to. So I say no crying. Anna says you can cry as long as you're a big Jack Black dude.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Porn. Apparently Pornhub's searches spiked.
Yeah, I guess so.
During
I was
the Super Bowl?
surprised to see that because, well, read the story and then I'll comment.
The Eagles weren't the only ones focused on going deep.
It's
You get it?
Every first line of a New York Post article is
I know.
that. It's
I know.
disgusting.
And eye-popping 126 million Americans tuned into the Super Bowl on Sunday night, but naughty NFL fans also enjoyed an abundance of off-the-field entertainment, clearly aroused by the big game. Exclusive data shared by Pornhub shows that searches for football-themed videos surged on the platform during the Philadelphia Eagles win over the Chiefs. The X-rated website told the Post that searches for the term Super Bowl jumped a whopping 8,032%, while American football player increased by 41,008.
Well, 4,000.
And football player jerk off shot up 3,931. I feel like there's an explanation for this, particularly the Super Bowl search, and I think it has to do with pirating the game. Sometimes there are some websites out there that you can get sports games online that maybe are illegal, that you shouldn't be watching, that are streamed on YouTube or some other streaming service. Typically, those get caught and flagged by YouTube, especially, and they take them down pretty quick.
Oh, so you're saying they were streaming them on this site?
Yes, that's what I think was happening.
Oh, okay.
Say they can get like a live, feed here, and then you can stream the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
really
website.
smart. Well, none of these searches were done in Florida. I'll tell you that much.
Is it complete? Is the website gone?
It's gone.
I'm not an avid viewer of that website. I have my own personal ones, but not that one.
Yeah, it's
Hung Jock saw a sizable 1,284 search increase, while the interest in the phrase locker room boner, that's an interesting one to search, grew more than 240%. Meanwhile, some porn pursuing people who are aroused by the sights and sidelines with interest in cheerleader related content.
Oh, can I just stop you there?
Yep.
So the big ones that you mentioned at the beginning, Super Bowl, jock, locker room boner. Most of the people that look at porn are men.
Yep.
So do you think like gay guys were watching the Super Bowl and were like, fuck
Yep.
yeah?
I
You think that's what happened?
I think so.
Because only when you go down to cheerleader threesome, that's only a measly 180%.
Yeah.
That's what a guy would look up.
Hot horny cheerleader up 734%.
Okay, but
thick cheerleader.
those I know who's looking that up.
Cheerleader threesome also saw a significant buzz of 180%. Yeah, I think when you're going with what was the
Locker
one?
room boner and
Football jerk off. Football player jerk off. So they probably want to watch some player,
yeah,
do it to themselves.
That's
and
the
watch it.
gays, do you think?
Yeah. It's got to be.
That's the
Who else
the
would it
G.
be?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Well, women, but unlikely.
While Super Bowl inspired searches increased overall, the data shows that Pornhub experienced a significant decline in traffic at the start of the event. In the Eagles' home state of Pennsylvania, traffic was down 43% as excited locals switched from not safe for work to the NFL. But in wake of the team's decisive victory, a sad at Keystone State, viewers to celebrate with some steamy scenes. By 1 a.m., traffic was 13% higher than it normally is at that time of the land of cheesesteak and chopped ham sandwiches. I didn't know about that one. Chopped ham sandwich sounds amazing.
I think that's maybe not. Okay. Well, that makes sense because when you're excited and your team won, your testosterone's much higher.
Yeah.
So you're,
what can make this day better?
Splooge.
In Missouri, meanwhile, the visits only dipped 24% during the game. Perhaps the Show Me State sustained interest in sex can be attributed to the fact that the Chiefs won both the 2023 and I think they meant 2024, or maybe they went 22. They put 23 and 23 here.
Titles. Yeah, it's a typo.
That's not good. That's bad.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Super Bowl title suggesting football fatigue. However, Americans all across the country appeared to put a pause on porn to take in Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. Based on 1 per minute page view data, U.S. traffic hit its lowest point at 8:01, dropping to 68% just before the halftime show began. Pornhub described the plunge as one of the most largest momentary declines our statisticians have ever recorded during a live sporting event.
Impressive.
It is interesting how that works.
Anything
got
to add?
Yeah, I was thinking about. I don't know.
I know.
I'm afraid to talk about it.
I can feel you weighing the options.
It's too good.
Yeah, it is pretty.
I got caught today by my partner, not in the act, but what happened was I left my computer in the bathroom, the laptop, and it's kind of a dead giveaway.
Why don't you use your phone?
I don't want any stuff on my phone. I don't know.
Because you could just put like your AirPods in your ears and in your phone, and it's smaller. And then if the phone's in there, it's like that's normal.
It's probably the thing to do.
Yeah.
But instead, I brought an old clunky old laptop in there, and I'm having issues with not my penis necessarily, but just my drive is not super high. But for whatever reason today, I was feeling ready.
Randy.
And I remember I took my this is like the first time in forever, and of course I get busted because that's just what happens after I busted. Right. So I don't know if I'm in trouble or not. We never really discussed expectations for that.
Huh. Am I supposed to weigh in?
I mean,
listen, I don't have a big issue with it unless it's like an addiction. I think that this is just my personal opinion. I'm sure there's everyone out there that's like no fap, fucking 2025 or whatever. But I think porn can be part of a healthy sexual diet. And it just depends how often you use it. If it's the not good, but every once in a while, like, dude, it's like everything. I wouldn't say you should eat cheesecake every day, but once in a while, treat yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's just how I feel about it. But and for me, as a female, I understand other people have issues with it, but I'm gonna speak for myself. I'd much rather have it in Fantasyland and you get out your desires there than you go and seek it out.
Yeah,
with real people.
I might have low T.
You probably do. I think I have low T as well. Like I think I have a very low sex drive, but I also just maybe all my friends are sluts. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because when I talk to my friends, they're just like, I need every day. What the fuck? Like every other day? What the fuck? Like I am not like that. So
yeah,
I think I skew just south of like average.
Are you once a month?
Probably a little more than that. Okay. But I mean, I have friends that are like in their 50s and they're like, me and my husband do it every other day. I'm like, every other day?
That's a lot.
Again, like, could I pull that off and like get in the mood? Sure. But I mean, it's for me, and I hope for other people, like a lot of preparation goes in because you better be fucking clean. You better be as, pretty hair free because you know how I like things. And it's just a lot of preparation. And then, sometimes candles get lit and the way that women work, you can't just like do it. You got to like warm us up and it takes time. Now it's great, but you got to have the time. And also this is fucking disgusting. And I don't know how people get away with this. I don't understand how anybody fucks right after they eat. How are you not farting on each other and just like, God, it's so gross. You have to do it before you eat.
Right.
Like I could just never imagine like going on a date and just being full of like eggplant parmesan and then like fuck it.
Yeah. Like, bunch of mac and cheese and like sausage, and bread,
falafel. I just had so many. We just went to the Indian buffet. Let's fuck. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, like, obviously 10, 20 years ago, that wouldn't bother me at all. But now I kind of agree with you.
Oh my God, I could never.
I need to get some tea. Where do I get tea?
From the TRT store.
Okay.
Men's Health Clinic.
Men's Health Clinic.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll look into
the
that.
The good old days, I think, are pretty much over, but they used to just hand that shit out like candy.
Yeah.
But for you, it wouldn't be steroids. For you, it would be medication.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, it's something to look at. I feel like I'm too young. I'm 40, but
no,
maybe not.
No. And here's the thing, like you can be on the lower end of normal for a guy and just want to bump it up to like mid-level.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because with men, and I know a little bit about hormone therapy for men and women, but for men, I think it's anywhere in the range of like 250 to like 1100 milligrams per deciliter of testosterone.
Yeah.
So you could be like 300 and you could be 800 and still be normal.
Right. Right.
So
yeah, I was actually watching videos about it today. Peter
more
Attia
plates, more dates, guy.
No, I was watching
Derek?
Peter Attia and your guy Chris
Williamson. Yeah, I have
some of
seen
those.
that episode.
Yeah, it's something to look at. Anyway, that was really embarrassing, and
That's
I'm glad I
okay.
shared it with all of you. I
Thank
just
you.
saw Brian P. I don't know if you want me to say your last name.
No, that's Brian from Philly. Oh my God, thank you so much.
Brian from Philly.
Yes, that's Brian from Philly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Brian from Philly. Thanks, man. He sent over $25 to the Venmo. That's awesome.
Thank you,
dude.
Brian from Philly, who is
nice.
currently in Philadelphia right now.
That's
Congrats on your victory with the Birds.
Yes. You did it. You did it, Brian. I guess let's get the hell out of here. I'll keep you advised of my tea situation. Yeah, I gotta go get a blood test, I guess. Yeah, I do see that. Thank you. Thank you, Joe, for Joe's Corner. I'm sorry we didn't get more calls, but I assume we'll hear from Joe next time at the very least.
Yep.
I'm really glad I didn't put in I was looking at getting a phone line installed in here and like getting it put into the board.
No.
It would just been Joe.
Yeah. Which we appreciate.
Yes, yeah.
This was actually a really great call today.
It was good stuff. But we do have stickers. I sent Joe some. These are very nice.
Aw.
Joe can attest to how great these stickers are. If you want some, Brian, if you want some, just send me your address. I'll send you up some. They're pretty high quality, very nice. And I'm sending them out for free. Just email me or text me your mailing address, and I'll send some out to you ASAP. Thank you, Anna. Thank you,
No
Joe,
problem.
for the good story. And thank you, everybody else, for tuning in. Garrett, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Brian from Philly.
And thank you, Brian. And we'll see you all, who knows, maybe even tomorrow. Subscribe, hit the bell. You get notified when we go live. See ya.
Bye.